Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Rebecca. This is Kimberly. We're from the Outdoor Committee and my daughter Reagan. Today we're going to be talking about knives and knife safety. So one of the things you're going to need when you go camping is a knife. It's really helpful for a lot of different things, but of course with everything that is sharp, and we need to learn how to safely use it. So first thing you need to do is you need to make sure you have a good safe area to practice your knife skills. You need to make sure that you have a safety circle. So make sure your knife, while it's closed, or just take your hand and make sure that nobody is going to be in your area that you are going to use to safely practice your knife. The next thing we can do is we're going to learn how to open and close a knife. So if you've never handled a knife before, you can make something out of cardboard like this, which would be our knife. So you're going to want to take the little notch in the knife and you're going to want to open it away from you safely. Sometimes you'll hear them click into place, and that's when your knife is ready to use, when it clicks into place. Kimberly's going to demonstrate on her knife and how it clicks into place. And then to close your knife, you're going to also want to keep it away from you, the blade edge away from you. And sometimes there's a notch you have to hold down to close, or sometimes you just close it. So you just have to learn and practice with your knife that you're using and to see how it works. Some of the smaller pocket knives don't have that latching safety feature, so you can just close it on its own.
Do you ever want to put your thumb like this when you close it?
Oh,
no.
What's going to happen if your knife is like that?
Bad idea.
What's going to happen?
You are going to cut your thumb.
So if you have that safety latch, you're going to want to put your hand underneath it and pull it down so you can close it. But you never want to close it with your hand on the top. So you'll just have to, with parent supervision, you'll have to figure out the knife that you have and how it's going to open and close. But you're always going to want to make sure it opens and closes away from you.
We will put a template for the knife, the paper knife that Miss Rebecca is using, in your camp out packet, and you can practice with that.
Okay. Let's practice passing your knife to someone. This a lot of times will happen when you're cooking with like a cooking knife, but it's the same premise. Or if you need to cut a piece of cord or something at camp, you'll need to pass a knife maybe to your campmate. So with your knife open, you're going to want to take it blade side down, and you're going to want to make sure the person you're passing it to acknowledges that they're getting the knife from you. Kimberly, is your knife?
Yes.
She'll say thank you, and then that's when you let go.
No. That's not what you do. Because that's how you do steps.
Close it away from me. I'm going to open it, chop up my veggies, and then, do you need to cut anything?
Yeah, I actually have some mushrooms in there.
Okay, so then I hold it blade side down, turn it away. Would you like the knife?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent. So things to make sure when you're passing knives, make sure the blade side is down, your hand is never on the sharp side. Make sure you have eye contact with who it's going to, and the other person acknowledges it. If you're just like handing something to somebody and they don't know it's coming at them, it could be a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
So another fun thing to do to learn how to use your knife is to carve soap. So the best soap we have found is ivory soap to do this. It's nice, soft, it's easy to carve with a knife. So with your parent supervision or your leader supervision, however you guys are practicing this, you can open up your soap and you can take your knife and you can safely open it in your safety circle, and you guys can practice carving. So you want to make sure you're carving with the grain of the soap. So if you carve it down the middle, it's going to be different than if you carve it with the soap. You'll see it when you look at your soap.
And you can practice this at home for the first time with plastic knives, so it's a little bit safer. Once you get good with a plastic knife, you can move on up into using your pocket knife. I'll start with the plastic first. So this way?
Yep. And make sure your knife is you're gonna be carving away from you at all times. You never, ever, ever want to carve towards you. There you go. And when you cut towards the grain, you'll see that it just kind of flows with it.
Yeah, I'll try the other way to see how it is. Yeah, it's not, it catches sooner, and then I feel like it's gonna fling up and I might catch my finger or something.
Yeah. So you can make it any kind of shape out of here. You could do a bear, you can make a fish if you wanted to carve something into your soap, or if you just want to get the feel of a knife and how it cuts something, you can continually do that. And when you master the soap, you can move on to whittling wood with permission from your leader and parents.
So when I whittle wood, is it any different from this?
It's going to be a little bit different, but it's the same basic principles. You're going to want to make sure you're cutting away from yourself with the grain of the wood. So if you have a stick, you're going to want to push the knife, pretend this is my stick, push the knife away from you as well.
So one thing that you might whittle is a stick for your s'more when you're at a campground. You might want to get the edge of a branch that you found on the ground or a stick, and then kind of get the edge so it's sharp, and you can use it to stick your s'more on. See how this is working? The shape's changing.
I think it's going to be a fish.
I think a duck.
I don't have a plan of what it's gonna be.
It's just nice to carve it.
Yeah. What are you making?
I'm trying to make a star, but it's going okay.
We also have some templates of designs that you can add on to your soap to carve. Do you want to show them?
Yeah.
And we'll include that information too, because sometimes we all need a little bit of ideas. So here's some shapes you can make.
Oh, the emojis in the back should be emojis too.
Here's some emojis you can carve onto your soap.
So that'll be good practice to be able to use your knife in different ways. If you want to create the eyes in the emoji, you would take your knife and practice spinning out the hole. So different ways, but you're just gonna, if you do something like this, you just make sure that, once again, you're watching what you're doing, you're careful.
Pay attention to where your fingers are.
At all times. So a couple of takeaways from today. Knives are tools and not toys. Even these plastic knives are sharp and they could cut someone very sharp. They're definitely very useful when you're going outdoors, but you have to be used in a very safe way. So make sure you always maintain your safety circle. You should never just bring a knife somewhere. If you're going camping with your troop, you need to make sure that you're allowed to bring a knife. You need to tell your leaders that you're bringing a knife, and you need to be trained in knife safety before you can use it. Anything else?
I made a super happy face.
That is super happy.
And
what did you make,
arm
Brandon?
I think it looks nice.
It does look nice.
It looks pretty fancy. Yes.
They might sell one just like that at Bath and Body.
I think they do.
Yeah.
And something
Have
you
these in
can do
hotels.
is you can take the bits of soap when you're done and use them for put them in like a nylon, or you can actually put a little bit of water on them and squish them together and make the soap for washing up at camp.
Yeah. So you just put it in the nylon and then hang it down by your container for water, and then you just wash your hands in there. Reuse and reuse. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you have a great camp out, and if you give this a try, have fun and be safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later, Girl Scouts.